is reconvening. We're now at Bossier Parish Medium Security Facility. And we have before, sir, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Yes, ma'am. Tyrone Lomas, 400-938.
And I'd like the officer in the room with you to introduce himself for the record, please.
Lieutenant Todd Roberts, Assistant Warden, Head of Security.
All right. Thanks, Lieutenant Roberts, for helping us out and accommodating us today.
Yes,
Mr. Lomas, my name is Cheryl Renatz. I'm serving as chairman of your parole panel today. You see on the screen also my colleagues is Mrs. Stapleton and Mr. Prater. We are your parole panel. We're here for a revocation decision this morning. Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire with you?
Oh, ma'am, I'll listen to you first.
Okay. Well, we're going to put a form up on the screen. I need you that form. Do you recognize that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated May 24th?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just trying to establish based on that information on that form, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed this morning with the revocation hearing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Then Mrs. Stapleton will take the lead on the interview questions.
Yes, ma'am.
And before we reach a decision, you'll be allowed to make a statement if you want to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're, Mr. Lomas, you're accused of violating conditions of your parole. Condition first, it's condition number 4, and it states you committed the offense domestic abuse battery, which resulted in your arrest on June 30th, 2023. On September 6, 2023, the charge was dismissed, and it's under Bossier 248134. Mr. Lomas, how do you plead to that instance of violating condition number 4?
Being that it was dismissed.
Sir, just say guilty or not guilty. And we'll
Yes,
talk about
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Guilty.
You say guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have another condition, number 4. You committed the offense of failure to register as a sex offender, which resulted in your arrest by the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office September 22, 2023. On May 13, 2024, you pled guilty to the offense of criminal mischief and were given credit for time served. So how do you plead to that violation?
On the failure to register, I would like to say not guilty.
Okay.
And
All right. We'll talk about it. And then lastly, we have number 10, condition number 10, and it states you are currently $3,482 in arrears on your supervision fees. The last payment reported on your account was December 21, 2019. How do you plead to violating number 10?
I'm going to plead guilty to that as well.
Okay. Would you answer Mrs. Stapleton's questions, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Lomas.
Good morning, Ms. Stapleton.
I'm just going to read here from the summary of the hearing that should be familiar to you, okay? As far as the domestic abuse battery, the hearing officer found that probable cause does exist to believe Tyrone Lomas violated the conditions of his supervision based upon the testimony of both the supervising officer as well as the offender. Probable cause was found on condition number 4, criminal activity in relation to the domestic abuse criminal conduct. The video evidence, there was a video, evidence provided enough information to believe Mr. Lomas failed to adhere to the conditions of his release. Though both he and the victim were arrested for the domestic abuse, the video appears to show Mr. Lomas striking the victim so hard it knocked her off her balance and she had to catch herself before falling to the ground entirely. Probable cause was further found concerning condition number 4 due to Mr. Lomas pleading guilty to criminal mischief, pled down from the failure to register. So you pled guilty for that. Just you did a plea bargain. Pertaining to condition number 8, probable cause was not found due to failing to provide proof of Mr. Lomas having been referred to treatment. You said that you went to a day center, and then you were informed that the day center is not a sex offender treatment. So you understand that now, is that correct?
Yes,
The day
ma'am.
center doesn't, okay. All right, pertaining to condition number 10, probable cause was found due to Mr. Lomas failing to make any payments since 2019. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's go back up to number 4.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll tell you what I've read, and in the statements and everything, there was a fight between you and she. But somebody who was taking the video said that you struck her first, and that's what shows on the video. And that's what came out in the hearing, that you struck her first, and that created the situation where there was, she fell to the ground and she was hit. So now, that's my statement on this.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it Mr. Prater's turn or back to the chairman?
Okay, thank you. I don't see any questions by Mr. Prater. Okay. Mr. Lomas, what is your relationship now to the victim?
We never really even had a relationship. If I can say that, when this incident happened, it was in my yard on my property. I never hit her first, never hit her first. I ended up with a broke knee prior to her kicking me in the knee. And even after investigation due to DAs, they found no probable cause to charge me with it. I didn't even act on this here incident at no criminal matter. I was trying to stay away from it as much as I could. I feared for my life completely, is why my family ended up calling the officers out. But I mean, I just got attacked bad. I mean, I had a $5,000 misdemeanor bond. She had a $60,000 bond. And I mean, they found no probable cause to even bill me on the charge after investigating it through the district attorney's office.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, ma'am. I was outside changing my foster father's tire, and she came over and was very upset about something, and we thought kicking me in the knee. And even after investigation due to DAs, they found no probable cause to charge me with it. I didn't even act on this here incident at no criminal matter. I was trying to stay away from it as much as I could. I feared for my life completely, is why my family ended up calling the officers out. But I mean, I just got attacked bad. I mean, I had a $5,000 misdemeanor bond. She had a $60,000 bond. And I mean, they found no probable cause to even bill me on the charge after investigating it through the district attorney's office.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, ma'am. I was outside changing my foster father's tire, and she came over and was very upset about something, and we thought we was talking to her about something dealing with cancer. And some more friends came over, and I think she got upset because the fact some other friends were over, and she just created an argument with me. And while I was sitting down, I was punched and choked, and then by me sitting there, she kicked me in my knee, which sustained me, and she broke it. She broke my ACL, and that's why the officers were called, because of 911, do the medical procedure for that. But I mean, I did everything I could to not accumulate this situation any more than what it was.
Yeah. What's your relationship with the woman?
No, we have no relationship.
Did you at that time?
Well, I mean, we had socialized, yes, ma'am. It was nothing more than that, though. It wasn't like we were planning to do anything further, like, date seriously or something like that.
All right. I don't have any other questions. I don't see any other questions on the board. Would you like to make a final statement before we vote?
Would that be me you asking, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. As far as the failure to register, if you notice, that was placed on me while I was incarcerated. I mean, I've been incarcerated since August the 9th from my parole officer from reporting in. I bonded out on the domestic charge, but I went and reported to my parole officer, and 2 months after reporting, he decided to confine me for the domestic charge. Well, September 6th, the domestic charge got dropped and a hearing was conducted, but there was no final revocation hearing for the domestic charge. 2 days later, they put the failure to register on me, but I was incarcerated. I didn't get arrested for a failure to register until I was incarcerated. So there was no way I could have registered. And of course, my attorney and the judge, I guess, told me that taking the criminal mischief, which was a non-violent misdemeanor, would not jeopardize my parole, is why that got like that. I wouldn't have never took it because I never did a failure to register.
Now, that was
incarcerated.
poor advice. I think the panel prepared to vote. Mrs. Stapleton?
Yes, ma'am. Today I'm going to revoke based upon failure to register, which was played down to criminal mischief, the domestic abuse violence, and number 10, that you're in arrears for your account.
All right, Mr. Prater?
I vote the same way, vote to revoke, and for a number of reasons, as stated by Mrs. Stapleton.
Okay. And Mr. Lomas, I concur with my colleagues. You have a poor supervision history, and I find you guilty of violating 2 instances of condition number 4, as well as condition number 10 of your supervision conditions. Today, sir, your parole is being revoked.
Thanks for watching another episode of Get Your Life. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on so that you know when I post the next video. Thanks for watching.